Bonaduce, life coach. Danny Bonaduce, life coach. He was a Hollywood star when he was just a kid, but he partied too hard and let a life upset.
Danny Bonaduce, life coach. Give me a call right now, life coach. You can call me at 1-800-252-1025, or you can email me right now at lifecoach@KZOK.com. When I was, what?
I don't know. We lost Will.
What happened?
Danny was over there doing the super bye-bye arms.
I was saying something to Will about what phone to go to, and my arm started to rock, and I didn't think he could see enough of my arm, so I showed him.
Oh, that was nice of you.
Yeah, apparently.
You're a very giving man.
I am a giving man. You can email me.
Fastest chicken dance.
LifeCoach@KZOK.com. By the way, Life Coach brought to you by Goldberg Jones. Divorce for men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE. Am I all good now? Let's talk to my buddy Gunner in Seattle. Good morning, Gunner. How the hell are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Aww.
Well, you don't sound like the normal Gunner I know and love.
Well, I just woke up, actually.
Okay.
So, a few months ago, back in July, my brother was diagnosed with cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And
do you mind if I know what kind of cancer he was diagnosed with?
No. Well, we know very well what kind of cancer it was.
He's asking if you would mind telling him, Gunner.
Yeah, would you tell me what kind of cancer he has?
Oh, it's Burkitt's lymphoma.
Okay. Well, not okay, but you know what I mean. All right, go on.
Yeah. So, basically, the whole time, my mom is constantly hovering over him. She is basically up all night with him, and she's only getting a few hours of sleep every day. And I know how my mom is. She is super stubborn. She is very, very controlling. And if I say anything, she is going to be on my case, because she is already driving herself just down the hole, and she's super stressed out. And it's not good for both of them, because it's stressing my brother out, because he's seeing what's happening.
Well, that was going to be my question before I offer you any kind of advice. I have a brother, Anthony, who now lives in Mexico. I've told you guys about him before. His wife was diagnosed with cancer, and he stopped living. Absolutely stopped living, and sat by her bedside for 3 full years, and it, eventually ravaged her more. But it did just permanent damage to my brother. So your brother thinks it's not good for your mom either.
Yeah, he, my dad, everybody.
And the only way to do this, Gunner, here's the only way to do this is your brother, because you're right. If you or your dad or anybody tell her to back off, she's just going to say no. That's my baby. I'm going to take care of him. Your brother has to step up here, and it's just sad that he has to step up. He's got cancer, man. But he still has to step up if he wants to help out your mom and say, it's no benefit to me, Mom. It's an actual distraction to him. He's got to make it seem somehow like it's in a way, and when I say bad for him, it's just distracting and stressful to him. But that's the only way out of this, Gunner, is that he's going to have to tell her it's unsettling for him to watch her give up his life. And then I think under those circumstances that she will. But for her non-sleeping thing, I want you to look at this as a medical issue. I think somebody should take her to the doctor and get some mild sedatives, because I'm telling you right now, when she lays down in bed, she doesn't just drift off to bed. She has thoughts of her child. So I think she's going to need a mild sleeping pill that will help her go to bed and get some rest, because she's losing rest over this. But your brother's going to have to be the one to tell her to take a break, that the way she is looking frail to him is distracting to him to trying to get better. And then she'll move. When he says, I'm not getting as much better as I could because I'm worried about you, Mom, she'll back off. Hey, I'm terribly sorry to hear that, Gunner, so hang in, man.
If you've got a question for the Life Coach, 800-252-1025. Call that number now. You can also email lifecoach@KZOK.com. Rich in Tacoma, you're on with Danny.
Hi, Rich.
Yes.
Right, it's me, Danny. What's up?
Hey, hi there, Danny.
Hi.
I known this girl for like 17 years, and we separated for a long time, whatever. But she lived in Florida, Florida.
Yeah, I do.
And she came up to be with me.
Right.
And I live on this guy's property. I have a really nice travel trailer, and I live on his property, and everything was fine until she showed up.
Mm-hmm. Why isn't everything fine now?
I mean, it's everything was fine until she moved with me. She's
All right.
been here for like 6 weeks.
Well, what went wrong, man? What's the trouble in paradise?
He is obsessed with my girlfriend.
Who is?
And the owner of the property.
Okay, there we go. There's a problem. The owner of the property that you live on, do you live there free of rent?
No, I paid for my spot. We set it up where I'm totally functional on the property.
And do you pay fair market value for where it is that you're living?
Yeah, like $300 a month.
It's a good deal, but I don't understand all that you do, and you probably work for this cat. So this guy, as long as you're paying your rent, well, at no point, but if you're willing to deal with your girlfriend and have this guy be all hot for your girlfriend and live there free of rent, that might have been your thing. But you're not living there free of rent. He has no rights to hit on your girlfriend and be obsessed with your girlfriend. So what is your actual question for me?
I want to leave. I want to get out of there. I mean, because last night when we got back from doing our laundry, he was like in the field, like in his truck, like stalking us. It's a very uncomfortable feeling.
Well, I get it, man. It sounds exactly like you're being stalked, but I still don't exactly understand what your question for me is.
Is it? I kind of heard that he kind of wants me to stay, but I don't feel comfortable doing that. I just.
Well, you're answering the question for you. He wants me to stay, but I don't feel comfortable. Don't feel uncomfortable in your own house. You have to go, man. And so you're paying $300 in rent, because as far as I can tell from what you told me, that's your motivation for staying, because somebody else's rent is $1,800 a month, and you're living for $300 a month. That's not enough motivation at all to feel uncomfortable in your own house. Even forget, because you could be imagining, let's just say that he's not obsessed with your girlfriend, although it sounds like he is. But for whatever reason you're being made to feel uncomfortable in your own home, that's got to go. So if your question for me was, what should I do? Never jump, never go too fast. Look for a new job and look for a new place to live before you do anything. But once you find it, go, man. You have a right to peace of mind, and you're not going to get it there. So, yeah, move along, Rich. Thank you very much for the phone call.
If you've got any questions for the life coach, 800-252-1025. Remember, you can call yourself Steve or Becky if you need to. You can also email lifecoach@KZOK.com. Ralph in Seattle has sent an email. I met a girl. Now I'm married, my wife of 30 plus years. She hasn't done anything wrong, and I would leave her in a minute if she had, but she hasn't.
Right.
She doesn't deserve the world of hurt that would come down on her. I kind of really do like this new girl, though. Should I reach out and ask if she has feelings for me, or just let it go because I'm a married man?
Let it go because you're a married man, you jerk face. Although you came to me, so I'm going to be calm here. If, you had actually, because you know what? I lost the marriage over liking the other girl. So I'm not saying, that this doesn't happen. This does happen. But at your stage of the game, as long as you've been married, here's what you've got to know by now. 3 years from now, you're bored with the new girl because it all just settles down eventually. And I wouldn't want it all craziness and harps and chocolate hearts. You just want to go home to your wife, and your wife wants to come home to you. I would say immediately let this girl go. It always seems like it's going to be so much better, and it's not. It's never so much better. Sometimes when you see a guy or a girl who left their husband and or wife, and they've been together 20 years now, and they're an exception to the rule, no, they're not. They're just too embarrassed to admit it was a bad call, and they should have stayed with their wife or husband. This girl, you haven't done anything yet. You'd have to reach out to find out if she's even interested in you. It's all ego, man. It's all ego, and I say don't do it, and don't wreck your marriage for it. It's a passing thing, and let it pass.
If you've got a question for the life coach, 800-252-1025. Email is lifecoach@KZOK.com. I've got an email here from Chris in Seattle. He writes, I heard you talking about drug tests and how to pass them before, but I'm not sure what to do with the short amount of time I have. I smoked weed for the first time in 3 years on Friday night, and I went to work this morning and found out I have a drug test on Wednesday. Is there anything I can do in that short period of time to try to pass this test?
Yeah, there absolutely is. So calm down. We'll get you through this. But the first thing I want to tell you, and I've told some other people this before, it's a new day, man. It's legal in a lot of places. Your boss definitely smokes pot, and if he doesn't or she doesn't, their kids do. There's every chance that you should go up to your boss and say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to pass this. I tell them the exact same thing. I smoke pot for the first time in 3 years. And don't be scared. You're telling them the truth. In 3 years on Friday, and now I'm going to fail this. And I feel like I'm a really good employee, and times have changed. And if you don't want me to smoke marijuana, just tell me, and I won't ever do it again. So there's what I'm saying. That's the new first recommendation for me. Go tell them the truth. And I'm fairly sure, and this is the thing when we're playing with your career, 9 out of 10 times, so you're absolutely right, man. Okay, if you're dirty for pot, we won't worry about that. But meth or anything like that, then you're in a lot of trouble.
What if it's out of the control of the immediate boss? Sometimes it goes to the corporate level.
There's a couple of ways to do it. I got to ask you if if they're not watching you, there's a lot of great ways to do it. Yeah, the test usually involves a jar with a pH, not a PhD.
pH balance.
Thank you. pH balanced strip in it. You go to the store and you buy your own pH balance and you rig it. And it's a little more complicated than this one. And that's the old, and I've mentioned this before, that I've never tried this one. I've only heard about it over and over and over. Dip your finger in bleach right before you go in there, and it's going to take all the minerals, all the stuff out of that, and it'll turn out non-conclusive, which is the same as clean, really. They'll cast a suspicion of eye on you right there. That non-conclusive. How come you don't have anything in your urine? But that's what you want to do. Just dip your pinky in bleach, and that will make you have a non-conclusive, and you won't come up dirty. And everything I just recommended to you will absolutely work, except the bleach thing. I've heard from 100 people that works, but I've never tried it on my own.
Now, does the drinking water not work with pot? Is that only good for?
No, it'll work. That's another way. And this is a lot. You have to have a level of commitment with this one, and that is the first time that I was going to have a drug test and realize I'm going to show up dirty. What am I going to do? I drank so much cranberry juice and water and apple juice. I mean, literally to the point where I was nervous about my kidneys exploding.
Wow.
And I'd sweat all night long in bed, and I only had the weekend to get rid of it, and it worked. It showed up completely blank. There was nothing in it. And they said, how are you? How's it coming up? Just essentially water, Danny. And I said, I'll take it again if you want. But what I had done, I give myself a non-conclusive, and that will work. And you'll usually have... when they're setting up the new test for you, because they probably will, they might have it a month or two down the road, and you'll be clean by then.
Wow. All right. If you've got a question for the life coach, you know the number is 800-252-1025. And the email is lifecoach@kzok.com. My knee-jerk reaction is always like, wow, we've got a lot of people named Becky. That's our kind of version of anonymous, if you would like to be anonymous. This is actually an email from Twig in Puyallup, who writes, a friend of mine ran into my ex-girlfriend last week. She asked him about me. She asked, how am I doing? What am I up to? Etc. She said to say hi for her. And he said, well, you should do that yourself. We broke up less than a year ago. Do you think she's asking about me because she's still interested and wants to try again? Or should I not read into this?
Be careful, because my first answer is, of course she's interested in you. That's why she asked us. I'm interested in his health. Hey, how's Twig doing? So therefore, by definition, she's interested. Now, whether or not because I'm interested in my ex-wife in this regard. I want to know what she's doing, how much money she's spending, who she did. It's creepy and weird of me, but I want to know what's going on in her life, mostly so I can make fun of her on the radio. It's just what I do. But I would say that, yeah, she's showing actual interest in you by asking how you're doing. And if I'm reading this email right, he's single, right? Twig is single.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say pursue this a little bit. I don't know why you want to go back with an ex. I just think it's weird to go back with your ex. But if you think she was the right girl, go ahead. And yeah, she's asking about you because she's interested. Hey, that's all the time we have right now for Danny Bonaduce and Life Coach. Life Coach brought to you by Goldberg Jones, Divorce for Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE.